Shalom. Good morning, everybody. I know today's not Saturday, but I thought I would do a video today due to the fact it is the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Um, so I just thought I'd do a video today instead of this weekend. So right now we are on doing the commandments of God, and we are on the third section of that. So we're going to pick up in Exodus 16:28. And it says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, How long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he hath... See, for that the Lord hath given you the Sabbath. Therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day." Now, I know to us, keeping the Sabbath, whether we do it on Saturday or Sunday, whether we do it at all, is really no big deal to us nowadays. But to God, it is a very, very big deal that we honor His Sabbath. And the key to reading the Bible, the key to understanding God's Word and understanding the commandments themselves, has a lot to do with the way we actually read the Bible. If we read it like, "And the Lord said unto Moses, How long refuse ye to keep my commandments?" we don't get any depth in that. We don't get any meaning in that. If you read it differently, if you read it with passion, if you read it with conviction... Now, I'm a guy, so I'm going to reference a guy book. When we read a Tom Clancy book, we don't read it monologue. We read it as if it's actually happening, as it would in a movie. As if it's actors doing lines with passion and tears and blood and violence. That is the same way we need to read the Bible. Because if you read right here, "And the Lord said unto Moses, How long are you going to keep my..." "And the Lord said unto Moses, How long are you going to refuse ye to keep my commandments?" He's saying it like he's frustrated. If you read it like he's saying it, you'll understand more depth to it. He's saying it frustratedly. He's saying it with anger. He's saying it like I say it to my kids who I just told to go clean the room 6 times. That's how you have to read the book. That's how you have to read the Bible. You'll understand it a lot better and a whole lot more easier. God is frustrated with His people for not keeping His Sabbath. Because to Him, it is a big deal. Just like when we tell our kids to do something and they don't do it because they don't think it's a big deal, but to us, it is. And it really doesn't matter what they think. It all matters what we say because we're the parent. Same thing. It doesn't really matter what we want. It matters what God wants because He's God and He's the one telling us to do it. And if it's a big deal to Him, it should in turn be a big deal to us. So anyway, to us it may not be a big deal on when or where or how or even if we do keep the Shabbat. To God, it is a very big deal. Because it is a sign. God said, "Let this day be a sign between me and you." This is one of the things that separates us from the world. Like putting the blood of the lamb over the doorpost so that the angel of death, when he passed by, the blood was a sign between us and God that separated us from the Egyptians. God didn't just go through there and just kill the Egyptians. He killed everything that did not have that blood upon the doorpost. It's what separates us from the rest of the world. And now we are moving to Exodus 20. And we're going to cover a lot today. If this wind will actually, you know what? Let me stand here and block the wind. So we are on Exodus 20. Three through 17. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them who hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the Lord thy God's name in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gate. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land, which the Lord thy God giveth you. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor the ox or ass, nor anything that was thy neighbor's. So we're going to stop right there, and we're going to read on that. Oh, I'm sorry, and we're going to go ahead and read 22 and 23. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with gods of silver, neither gold ye shall make unto you gods of gold. So, first things, we're going to just start at the beginning and work our way through it. Why no gods before him? Why are we not allowed to make any graven images? Well, God really explains that in the text right below that. He is a jealous God. He created us to serve him, to worship him. And he does not want us worshiping or serving any other gods except him. That is the point and purpose of our life, is to serve and please him. And if we're serving other gods, then we're not serving him. Why doesn't he want us to make any graven images? Now the word graven means chiseled, etched, really any images made by our hands. It's not, okay, well God said don't make any graven images so I can go paint a picture and worship that. No. Graven images is a roundabout term. He basically means he doesn't want us making anything with our hands and worshiping it. For that matter, he really, I didn't make this tree right here, but he don't want me bowing down and worshiping that either. It's really a roundabout term. He doesn't want us worshiping anything. He doesn't want us making anything with our hands. But here's the thing. Have no other gods before him. That doesn't just mean stuff we make to worship. Really, anything we put before God is our God. Anything we say is more important to God. And I'm like, man, I actually hate sports. Can't stand it, but let's say I did. Man, I want to go to church, but man, the game's on, dude. And I want to barbecue, throw back a few beers, and watch the game. I think I'm going to stay home and watch the game instead of go to church. that game just became my God. Because I chose to have something to do with it over having something to do with worshiping God. Because I chose to do something else over worshiping God, that just became my God. And it holds true to anything. Whatever we do above what God tells us to do, we are worshiping that instead. Now, we are commanded to go to church. Well, forsake not the assembling of yourselves for my name's sake. So we don't have to go to church per se, to like a big corporate thing. We can hold a Bible study with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people in the house, and that's church. But we are not to put anything above worshiping God, because the second we do, that becomes our God. It's just not something we carve and sit on a mantle and worship. It's the things we do as well. Why not take God's name in vain? Now, modern culture has kind of dumbed that down a little bit. So, we think taking God's name in vain is saying, God dang it. That's what, but, the other word. That's what we take as Western civilization as taking God's name in vain. But if you go to the Middle East, where Israel is, it's a little more intense than that. It's speaking God's name without reverence. Anytime you say, oh my God, or God help me, and it's over something dumb, like you're not saying it out of respect or reverence, like, you're trying to, I'm a mechanic, so I'm trying to reach around the turbo and get up in there and put a nut on a bolt that I can't see, and I can't get it on there, and I'm like, oh my God, come on. That would be taking God's name in vain. So it's just not saying GD this and GD that. It is literally speaking God's name without reverence and honor. That is taking the Lord's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath. Well, we just talked about that. That is a sign between God and us. It's one of the things that separate us along the circumcision, that separate us from the rest of the world. The Sabbath is a representation of God, Jesus' blood shed for us, and it's what separates us from everybody else. So we just talked about that. Honor thy father and thy mother. Now this is one of the only commandments. There are very few commandments that God tells us to keep that comes with the promise. Honor thy father and mother, that thy days may be long. See how I want to word this. He is promising us a long life if we honor our father and mother. Now, to honor your father and mother does not mean you only honor them if they're good parents, or if they give you what you want, when you want, how you want. That's not honoring. That's just being nice to them when they're giving you your way. Honoring them means you never speak bad about them. You never curse them. You never talk bad about them. The Bible even later on, even if your parents are bad parents, you are still supposed to honor them. Because those are the ones God gave you to be your authority. Honoring your parents means submitting yourself to their authority and obeying them even when it's doing something you don't want to do. How much time do I have? Okay, good. But honoring your parents means submitting yourselves to them, doing what they tell you, whether you want to do it or not, when they tell you, whether you feel like getting up and doing it. It means loving them, whether they deserve it or not. Because there's a divine pecking order on how things work. It is God, man, woman, child. Now, the Bible also says when a man marries a woman, he leaves his parents and cleaves to his wife and becomes one flesh. But even though you have left your parents and you have married your wife and become one flesh with her, you still have to honor them. You still have to reverence them. You still have to give them respect. And if you do this, God promises us a long and happy, well, not. He just promises a long life. Whether or not you married a good woman will depend on whether it's happy or not. Thou shalt not kill. That seems kind of simple. But why doesn't he want us to kill? Well, there's a difference between killing and righteousness. When it says thou shalt not kill, it means murder. Different versions of the Bible say kill. Other versions of the Bible say murder. I wish I would have translated that and gave you the Hebrew word and meaning. But it means murder. And there's a difference between killing and murdering. Murder means unjustified killing. It means you did nothing to me, but for some dumb reason I don't like you, so I take your life. Or I want to rob your house, but you're in it, so I kill you so I can take whatever's in your house. That is what the Bible's talking about. It's talking about an unjust murder. But he doesn't want us to kill unjustly. Now, someone who commits murder, the Bible says we're to kill them. There are anyone who is a pagan and goes against God, we are actually commanded to kill them. Now, that doesn't mean go kill somebody, because Jesus tells us we are to love our neighbor. We're not supposed to kill unless we absolutely, unequivocally have no other choice. If we have another choice, we are to take that route. But there's justified killing and unjustified killing. But God doesn't want us to kill because life is precious. Life is a gift. And to kill someone is to take the very gift God gave them away. And it's not right. But that's why he doesn't want us to kill, because life is precious and it's a gift. But keep in mind, there is a difference between justified killing and unjustified killing. I'm sorry, you come in my house and you attack my wife and children, I'm going to put two to your chest and one to your head, and I'm going to roll your body out there in them bushes and then go back to bed. That's how that is. But I'm not going to go out of my way to harm somebody. It's only going to be in self-defense. And that's the difference between justified and unjustified. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Now, why does he want us to commit adultery? I know back in the Bible days, a man was, had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wives. But that's not the way God designed it. That was what man did. God designed it to be one man and one woman. We twisted it because we are selfish, we are greedy, we are lustful, and we want everything we see that pleases our eye, so we made it okay to have multiple wives. But that's not the way God designed it. Because when you sleep with somebody, your soul becomes intertwined with them. When you sleep with your wife, y'all become one flesh. And one flesh can only be made one flesh one time. To do it multiple times is be tearing your flesh and giving it to somebody else. So we're not supposed to do that. One woman. And we're not supposed to sleep in. And women, the same thing. You're not supposed to sleep on your husband. Because when you sleep, you're tearing your flesh that you became one with and giving it to somebody else. And that is ungodly. No stealing. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Because stealing is something that is not right. That person earned it. That person got it. And if you want it, get off your butt and go earn it. It's not right to take what someone else has worked their butt off for. False witness. Don't lie. Same thing in the court. You put your hand on the Bible. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Same point and principle. That's where they got this from. Your word is your bond. That's all you really have. That's all people can take you for when you say something, you got to do it. But bearing false witness is don't be lying on other people. Don't say, yeah, that person over there did this, that, and the third just to get them in trouble, knowing they never did anything you ever said they did. It says, do not covet. Why aren't we supposed to covet? And covet means to, man, I like that boat over there, dude. I wish I had one just like that. Man, I like that truck, dude. Man, I wish I had a truck like that. Why can't I have something that nice? That's what coveting is. And it's because God blesses accordingly. Now, I know there are some people out there that are born with silver spoons in their mouth, get what they want, and never have to work a day for it. But that has nothing to do with you. They have it because God allows them to have it. It has nothing to do with you. You are supposed to be happy with what God gives you. God will never bless you with more until you are satisfied and thankful for what you have now. Just like my children. I'm not going to buy them something if they're ungrateful for what I've already got them. Why would I? We're supposed to be thankful and grateful for what we have. Now that doesn't mean we're supposed to be lazy and not get off our butts and go earn what we want. It means we're not supposed to sit here and daydream about what Tom and Joe have over there. We're not supposed to daydream about what Sally and Brittany have. We're supposed to be thankful for what we got. And if we want more, get up and go work for it. And then if it's God's will, He'll bless you with it. But you're just not supposed to sit back, man, I wish I had that. Man, I wish I had this. Poor me. Get off your butt. Be thankful for what God gives you. Because God, you have what you earn. What you earn by working and what you earn by serving God. If my kids are being bad, I'm not going to reward them for it. Why would I? Why would God reward you for being bad? He's not. We're supposed to be thankful for what we have. Grateful for what we have. Even if we're homeless, we're supposed to be thankful for the clothes we do have and the bridge that we're sleeping under to keep us, shaded from the cold wind blowing by in the middle of winter time. You're supposed to be thankful for the cardboard box you're sleeping in because it's giving you some form of shelter. We're supposed to be thankful for what we got, and God will give us more. But He's not going to give you more if you just sit around on the couch all day doing absolutely nothing. Anyway, moving on. Now, at the very end of it, why did God specify that He talks to us? And says again, do not make any graven images. There are a couple things that the children of Israel did. Okay, I got to stop this video and restart. See you on the flip side.